I died on a Tuesday. Not in some dramatic way. I just closed my eyes in the hospital bed and never woke up. The last thing I remembered was seeing Kai's face, my boyfriend of 3 years, looking at me with empty eyes. "I'm sorry, Ren," he had said. "But you're not him." Him. My twin brother, Hiro. My whole life I was always second to Hiro. We looked identical, same black hair, same brown eyes, same smile. But there was one crucial difference. Hiro was an Omega, blessed with that sweet scent that made everyone turn their heads. I was just a Beta, common, ordinary, forgettable. In our world, Omegas were treasured. Alphas fought for their attention. Even Betas treated them like royalty. And me? I was just Hiro's shadow. Kai had been Hiro's friend first. They grew up together, inseparable. I watched from the sidelines, my heart aching every time Kai laughed at something Hiro said. Then one day, Hiro met someone else. An alpha named Daichi who swept him off his feet. They got engaged within months. That's when Kai finally looked at me. "You look just like him," Kai had said, touching my face. Maybe we could try?" I should have said no. I should have walked away. But I was so desperate to be loved, to be chosen, that I grabbed onto whatever scraps I could get. For 3 years, I played the role of substitute. I laughed like Hiro. I styled my hair like Hiro. I tried to be everything Kai wanted. But I could never produce that Omega scent. I could never be what he truly desired. The day I collapsed, Kai was supposed to meet me for dinner. He never showed up. Later, I found out he was at Hiro's engagement party, staring at my brother like a man dying of thirst. When I woke up in the hospital with only weeks to live, Kai visited once. Just once. And he told me the truth, he never loved me. He only dated me because I reminded him of Hiro. So I died. 25 years old. Never truly loved. Always second choice. Then I opened my eyes. I was staring at a ceiling I recognized, my childhood bedroom ceiling. The glow-in-the-dark stars Hiro and I stuck up there when we were 10 still glowed faintly. My heart pounded. I sat up, looking at my hands. They were smaller, younger. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. I grabbed it, and my breath caught. The date read March 15th, 8 years ago. I was 17 again. The bedroom door burst open, and Hiro bounced in, full of energy. He looked so young, so carefree. He hadn't met Daichi yet. He hadn't broken Kai's heart yet. "Ren, wake up. First day at the new school. Remember?" Hiro grinned, his Omega scent filling the room, sweet like vanilla and honey. I stared at him, memories of my past life flooding back. This was the day everything changed. This was the day we transferred to Sakura Academy, where we would meet Kai. "Ren, you okay? You look weird," Hiro said, tilting his head. I had died. Somehow, impossibly, I had been given another chance. Another chance to live. Another chance to make different choices. "Yeah," I said slowly, my mind racing. "I'm okay." But I wasn't okay, because I knew what was coming. I knew Kai would fall for Hiro. I knew Hiro would leave him heartbroken. I knew I would become the pathetic substitute. Not this time. This time I would change everything. I wouldn't wait in the shadows. I wouldn't accept being second choice. I would live for myself, not for someone else's happiness. "Come on, slowpoke," Hiro called from the hallway. "Mom made pancakes." I took a deep breath and stood up. My legs felt strong. My body felt healthy. I was alive again. This time I would do things differently. This time I would find someone who chose me first. Sakura Academy was exactly as I remembered, a prestigious school where alphas, betas, and omegas mingled, though not always equally. The building was massive, with cherry blossom trees lining the entrance. Students chatted in groups, and I could already see the social hierarchy forming. Alphas stood tall and confident. Omegas stayed close together, protected. Betas filled the spaces in between. Hiro walked beside me, drawing stares immediately. His Omega scent, even suppressed by the patches he wore, seemed to catch attention. Several alphas looked our way, their eyes tracking my brother's movements. In my past life, I had stayed close to Hiro, trying to bask in the attention he received. Today, I deliberately walked a few steps away, creating distance. Run, wait up! Hiro called, but I kept walking. I knew exactly where I was going. In my previous life, I had followed Hiro to the Omega-designated lounge for the first break. That's where we met Kai, who was visiting his Omega friend. This time, I turned the opposite direction, toward the library. The library was quiet, peaceful. Tall shelves filled with books created small, private corners. I found a spot by the window and pulled out a notebook. If I was going to change my life, I needed a plan. First, stay away from Kai, no matter what. Second, focus on my own interests, not Hiro's. Third, stop comparing myself to my brother. Fourth, find out who Rin actually was, beyond being Hiro's twin. Excuse me, is this seat taken? I looked up and froze. A boy stood beside my table, tall, with dark blue hair and sharp gray eyes. He wore the Alpha designation pin on his collar, but something about him seemed different. Less aggressive, more gentle. I had never seen him before. No, it's free, I said. He sat down with a smile and pulled out a thick book on literature. We sat in comfortable silence for a while. I kept glancing at him, curious. In my previous life, I never came to the library on the first day. I never met this person. I'm Yuki, he said suddenly, looking up from his book. Yuki Nakamura, second year. Rin Tanaka, first year. Tanaka. Yuki's eyes widened slightly. Are you related to Hiro Tanaka? The Omega who just transferred. Here it was, the inevitable comparison. In my past life, I would have shrunk back, saying yes, I'm his twin brother in a small voice. I would have prepared myself for disappointment when people realized I was just the beta version. Yes, he's my twin, I said clearly, meeting Yuki's eyes. But we're very different people. Yuki studied me for a moment, then smiled. Good. It's boring when people try to be exactly like their siblings. What are you interested in, Rin? The question caught me off guard. No one ever asked me that. They always assumed I liked the same things as Hiro. I'm not sure, I admitted. I've spent so much time following my brother that I never really figured it out. Well, you have 4 years here to discover that, Yuki said. Want some help? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. 3 messages from Hiro. Where are you? Mom told me to look after you. I met someone really cool. Come to the lounge. I knew who he met. Kai. In my past life, Hiro dragged me to meet him immediately, and I fell in love at first sight with Kai's warm smile and kind eyes. I turned off my phone. Actually, yes, I said to Yuki. I'd like some help. Yuki's smile widened. Great. First lesson. Stop checking your phone every 5 seconds. Be present. We spent the next hour talking. Yuki told me about his love for classical music and poetry. He asked me questions, real questions about my thoughts, my opinions, my feelings. Not once did he mention Hiro again. When the bell rang for the next class, Yuki stood up and handed me a piece of paper with his number. Text me if you want to hang out again, he said. I have a feeling we'll be good friends, Rin Tanaka. I watched him leave, holding the paper in my hand. Something warm bloomed in my chest. Something I didn't recognize at first. Then I realized what it was. Hope. I was already changing the story. I was already becoming someone different. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a call from Hiro. I hesitated, then answered. Ran. Where were you? I looked everywhere. Hiro sounded worried and a bit annoyed. I was at the library. The library? On the first day. Hiro laughed. That's so boring. Come on, I want you to meet Kai. He's amazing. He's a second-year alpha and… I'm good, I interrupted. I made my own friend. I'll see you at home. I hung up before Hiro could protest. My hands were shaking slightly. I had never done that before, never cut Hiro off, never chosen my own path over his. It felt terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. I saved Yuki's number in my phone and headed to my next class. For the first time in 2 lifetimes, I felt like I was walking forward instead of following behind. 2 weeks passed in my new life, and everything felt strange yet familiar. I knew which teachers would give pop quizzes. I knew which students would become troublemakers. I knew exactly when Hiro and Kai would start growing closer. But I wasn't there to see it. I spent my lunch breaks in the library with Yuki. He introduced me to classical music, playing pieces through his headphones and watching my reactions. We debated about books, argued about movie endings, and somehow, in those quiet moments, I started to remember who I used to be, or maybe discover who I could become. "You seem sad sometimes," Yuki said one afternoon, closing his book. "Like you're carrying something heavy." I looked up from my notes, startled. Yuki's gray eyes were gentle but observant. "Just thinking about the past," I said, which wasn't entirely a lie. "The past is already gone. You can't change it," Yuki said softly. "But you can choose how you move forward." If only he knew I was living proof that sometimes, impossibly, you got a second chance. My phone buzzed. Another message from Hiro. He had been texting me constantly, confused by my distance. In my previous life, we were inseparable. Now I was becoming a stranger to him. "Ren, is everything okay? You've been weird since we transferred. Did I do something wrong?" Guilt twisted in my stomach. Hiro didn't know what he would do to me in the future. Right now, he was just my brother, worried and confused. "I should go," I told Yuki, packing my things. "Family stuff." I found Hiro by the fountain in the school courtyard, sitting with Kai. My heart clenched when I saw them together. Kai looked exactly as I remembered: warm brown eyes, an easy smile, athletic build. He was laughing at something Hiro said, his whole face lighting up. In my past life, seeing them together like this had made me jealous of Hiro but desperate to be close to Kai. Now I just felt tired. "Ren!" Hiro spotted me and waved enthusiastically. "Finally! Come meet Kai properly." Kai stood up, extending his hand. "Nice to meet you, Ren. Hiro talks about you constantly." His hand was warm, his grip firm. I shook it briefly and let go. "Nice to meet you too," I said politely, keeping my voice neutral. Kai looked slightly taken aback by my cold response, but Hiro didn't notice. He was already pulling me to sit down, chattering about his day. "Kai plays basketball, and he's really good at math, so he offered to tutor me. Isn't that amazing?" Hiro's eyes sparkled with admiration. I knew the story. Kai would tutor Hiro. They'd spend hours together. Kai would fall deeply in love. Then Daichi would appear, and everything would shatter. "That's nice," I said, "but I have plans. I need to go." "Plans? With who?" Hiro asked, genuinely curious. "A friend. Yuki Nakamura." Kai's expression shifted slightly. "Yuki? The alpha from class 2A? "Yes." "Why?" "No reason. He's just different from most alphas. Kind of a loner," Kai said carefully. "Maybe I like different," I replied, standing up. "See you at home, Hiro." I walked away before either of them could respond. My heart was pounding. That was the first real conversation I'd had with Kai in this new life, and I had deliberately kept it cold, distant. Part of me wanted to turn back, to fall into old patterns, to let myself be drawn to him again. But I couldn't. I wouldn't. That evening at home, Hiro cornered me in my room. "Okay, what's going on?" he demanded, closing the door behind him. "You've been acting weird since we transferred. You're avoiding me. You're hanging out with people I don't know. This isn't like you." "Maybe you don't know me as well as you think," I said quietly. Hiro flinched. "We're twins, Ren. We've been together since birth. Of course I know you. Do you?" I looked at him directly. "Tell me, Hiro, what's my favorite color? What do I want to do after graduation? What makes me happy?" Hiro opened his mouth, then closed it. He looked confused, almost hurt. I thought your favorite color was blue. Like mine. It's green. Dark green. Like the forest. And after graduation, you want to go to the same university as me, right?" "I never said that. You assumed it." Hiro sat down on my bed, looking lost. "Ren, I don't understand. Did something happen? Did someone hurt you?" "Yes, I wanted to scream. You did. You and Kai both. You fell in love and got engaged, and Kai used me as your replacement, and I died alone and unloved. But that hadn't happened yet. In this timeline, Hiro was innocent. Nothing happened, I said, my voice softening. I'm just trying to figure out who I am outside of being your twin. Can you understand that? Hiro was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. I guess I never thought about it that way. I always liked that we did everything together. It felt special. It was special, I admitted. But maybe we need to grow separately too. Hiro stood up and hugged me tightly. His omega scent wrapped around me, comforting and familiar. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'll try to give you space. But I'm still your brother. Okay? I'm still here if you need me. I hugged him back, feeling tears prick my eyes. I know. After Hiro left, I lay on my bed, staring at those glow-in-the-dark stars. My phone buzzed with a message from Yuki. Hey, want to check out that new music store tomorrow? They have the vinyl collection I mentioned. I smiled and typed back, yes. I was building a new life one choice at a time. It was scary and uncertain, but it was mine. And for the first time, that felt like enough. The music store was tucked away in a quiet part of town, the kind of place you'd miss if you weren't looking for it. Yuki led me inside with the excitement of someone sharing their favorite secret. The smell of old vinyl and coffee filled the air. This is amazing, I said, running my fingers along the record spines. Right? I found this place last year. The owner, Mr. Sato, knows everything about music history. Yuki pulled out a record carefully. Here, listen to this composer. Debussy. His music sounds like water flowing. We spent hours there listening to samples, talking about how different pieces made us feel. Yuki didn't just love music. He understood it deeply, emotionally. When he talked about crescendos and harmonies, his whole face changed, becoming animated and passionate. You really love this, I observed. I do, Yuki admitted, looking a bit embarrassed. Most people find it boring. My parents want me to study business, take over the family company. They say music is just a hobby. That must be hard. It is. Yuki met my eyes. But you get it, don't you? Wanting to be seen for who you really are, not who people expect you to be. Something passed between us in that moment, a recognition and understanding. Yuki was the first person who saw me as Ren, not as Hiro's twin or a beta who should be grateful for whatever attention he got. Yeah, I said softly. I get it. We bought matching records, a compilation of modern composers that Mr. Sato recommended. As we left the store, Yuki's hand brushed against mine. It was brief, accidental, but my heart skipped. Wait, was I developing feelings for Yuki? The thought startled me so much that I stumbled on the sidewalk. Yuki caught my arm, steadying me. Careful, he said with a laugh. You okay? Yeah, just distracted. Over the next few weeks, I couldn't stop thinking about it. In my previous life, I had been so fixated on Kai that I never looked at anyone else. I convinced myself that Kai was my only chance at love, that I should be grateful he even considered me. But Yuki made me feel different. He made me feel seen. When I talked, he listened. When I shared ideas, he engaged with them seriously. He never compared me to Hiro, never made me feel like a substitute. At school, my life continued to diverge from my past. I joined the art club on Yuki's suggestion, discovering I actually enjoyed sketching and painting. I made friends, other betas who didn't care about omega drama or alpha posturing. Meanwhile, Hiro and Kai grew closer. I watched from a distance as they fell into the same pattern as before. Kai's eyes followed Hiro everywhere. Hiro, oblivious and friendly, treated Kai like a beloved friend. One afternoon, Kai approached me in the hallway. Ren, can we talk? I tensed but nodded. We found an empty classroom. I wanted to ask about Hiro, Kai started, then paused. Wait, that's not, I want to understand something. You and Hiro are twins, but you're so different from him. Why is that? Different how? I asked carefully. Hiro is warm, open, always smiling. You're more reserved, quieter. But when you do talk, you say interesting things. I noticed you in the art club exhibition last week. Your painting was really good. You were at the exhibition? Yeah. Yuki invited me. Kai rubbed the back of his neck. Look, I know you and I didn't start off great. You seemed cold when we first met. But I'd like to be friends, for real. Not just because you're Hiro's brother. In my past life, this would have made my heart sore. Kai wanted to be friends. Kai noticed me. But now, I heard the words clearly. Not just because you're Hiro's brother. Everything still circled back to Hiro. I appreciate that, I said evenly. But I'm good with the friends I have. Kai looked surprised. Maybe even a little hurt. Oh, okay. I just thought. You thought wrong, I interrupted, not unkindly. I'm not interested in being close to you, Kai. I know you have feelings for my brother, and I don't want to be caught in the middle of that. Kai's face went pale. How did you? It's obvious, I said. The way you look at him, how you always find excuses to be near him. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I don't want to be part of that story. But Hiro doesn't. I know. He doesn't feel the same way. He sees you as a friend. I stood up. That's between you and him. I need to go. I left Kai sitting there, looking shell-shocked. Part of me felt guilty, but mostly I felt free. I had spoken my truth, set my boundary. I wasn't going to repeat the past. That evening, Yuki called me. Hey, want to come over? My parents are away for the weekend, and I've been working on something I want to show you. Yuki's house was enormous, one of those traditional estates with modern renovations. He led me to a room at the back that had been converted into a personal music studio. This is incredible, I breathed, taking in the instruments, recording equipment, and soundproofing. This is my secret place, Yuki said softly, where I come when everything else gets too loud. I've never shown it to anyone before. Why me? Yuki turned to face me fully, his gray eyes intense. Because you make me feel brave enough to share it. You don't judge me for wanting something different than what's expected. You see me, Rin, the real me. My breath caught. We stood there, just looking at each other, and I realized the truth. I was falling for Yuki. Really, genuinely falling for him. Not because he looked like someone else or because I was desperate for attention, but because he was kind, talented, understanding, and he made me want to be my best self. I see you too, I whispered. Yuki smiled, that soft, gentle smile that made my heart race. Good, he said, because I've been wanting to kiss you for weeks, and I needed to know if I was imagining things. You're not imagining things, I said, my voice barely audible. Yuki stepped closer. Can I? I nodded and he kissed me. Soft, tentative, perfect. Not desperate or demanding. Just honest and sweet. When we pulled apart, I was smiling so wide my cheeks hurt. So, Yuki said, grinning, "Want to be my boyfriend?" "Yes," I said without hesitation. "Yes, I do." For the first time in 2 lifetimes, I was choosing love that chose me back. And it felt like coming home. Being with Yuki felt like breathing for the first time. We kept our relationship quiet at first. Not secret but private. We'd meet in his music studio, in the library, at the small cafe near his house. Every moment felt precious, new. "Play something for me," I'd ask, and Yuki would sit at his piano, filling the room with melodies that seemed to speak directly to my soul. At school, things started shifting in ways I hadn't anticipated. Daichi appeared earlier than I remembered. He was everything an alpha was supposed to be, tall, confident, from a wealthy family. He transferred in during our 2nd month, and every Omega in school immediately noticed. His scent was strong, commanding. Even some alphas seemed intimidated. But Daichi only had eyes for one person, Hiro. I watched it happen like viewing a movie I'd already seen. Daichi approached Hiro after class. Hiro blushed and smiled. Within days, they were inseparable. Kai stopped coming to the cafeteria. I'd see him on the basketball court, playing with an intensity that looked almost angry. He'd lost weight, had dark circles under his eyes. One day, Yuki and I found him sitting alone on the roof during lunch. "Kai!" Yuki called out gently. "You okay, man?" Kai looked up, and I was shocked by the pain in his eyes. I'm fine. You're not, Yuki said, sitting down beside him. After a moment I sat too, keeping some distance. I'm in love with someone who doesn't love me back, Kai said quietly. How do you deal with that? Yuki glanced at me. I gave a small nod. Kai needed help, and my grudge was from a life he didn't remember living. You let them go, I said. You can't force someone to love you, and staying close to them while hoping they'll change their mind only hurts worse. Kai laughed bitterly. That's easier said than done. I know, and I did know. In my past life, I had clung to Kai desperately, hoping he'd eventually see me as more than a substitute. It never worked. Is it Hiro? Yuki asked gently. Kai's silence was answer enough. He's with Daichi now, Yuki continued. And from what I've seen, he's really happy. I know that's hard to hear. I knew Hiro first, Kai said, voice breaking. I've known him for years. I thought if I just gave him time, if I just showed him how much I cared. But love doesn't work on a timer, I said. And being there first doesn't guarantee anything. Hiro isn't a prize to be won. He's a person who gets to choose who he wants. Kai looked at me with red-rimmed eyes. You understand this, don't you? You've been through something similar. Had I been that obvious? I hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, I have. How did you get over it? I realized that loving someone who doesn't love you back is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. You keep pouring yourself in, but nothing stays. Eventually, you have to walk away, let yourself heal, and find someone who wants to fill your bucket too. Yuki reached over and squeezed my hand. Kai noticed the gesture. You two are together? He asked. Yeah, Yuki said, smiling at me. We are. Kai studied us for a long moment. You look happy. Really happy. We are, I confirmed. Maybe there's hope for me too, then, Kai said quietly. If you can move on, maybe I can too. You can, Yuki assured him. But you have to actually try. Stop torturing yourself by watching Hiro and Daichi. Stop waiting for something that won't happen. Kai nodded slowly. You're right. I know you're right. It just hurts. It will hurt for a while, I said honestly. But one day you'll wake up and it'll hurt a little less. And then less after that. And eventually you'll be okay. We sat with Kai for the rest of lunch, just keeping him company. When the bell rang, he stood up with us. Thanks, he said. Both of you. I'll try to do better. As Kai walked away, Yuki put his arm around my shoulders. That was kind of you helping him. He's hurting. I know what that feels like. Want to tell me about it? Yuki asked carefully. I looked at my boyfriend. This wonderful, patient person who made me feel valued. He deserved honesty. Not yet, I said. But someday, when I'm ready, I'll tell you everything. I'll wait, Yuki promised, kissing my forehead. That evening, Hiro came into my room with an excited expression. Ren, Daichi asked me to be his boyfriend officially. Can you believe it? I smiled at my brother's happiness. That's great, Hiro. I'm happy for you. You really mean that? I do. Hiro sat on my bed. Things have been different between us lately, but I want you to know I still care about you. You're still my twin, my brother. That won't change just because I have a boyfriend now. I know, I said softly. And I care about you too. I'm not pulling away because I'm angry or hurt. I'm just learning to be my own person. I get that now, Hiro said. And I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like you had to be exactly like me. Mom told me I was being selfish, always pulling you along with my plans. You didn't know. I never said anything. Well, I'm saying it now. Live your life, Ren. Be whoever you want to be. I'll support you. After Hiro left, I lay on my bed, feeling a strange sense of peace. In my past life, Hiro's relationship with Daichi had made me feel abandoned and jealous. But now, with Yuki by my side and my own path ahead of me, I just felt genuinely happy for my brother. I pulled out my phone and texted Yuki, "Thank you for loving me." His reply came immediately, "Thank you for letting me." The story was changing. The future was unwritten. And for the first time since being reborn, I felt like I was exactly where I needed to be. Spring festival season arrived at Sakura Academy, bringing cherry blossoms and celebration. The school organized a week of activities, culminating in a big dance where students could ask anyone they wanted to attend with them. "Come with me," Yuki asked, holding out a single white rose during one of our library study sessions. "Of course," I said, taking the flower and kissing his cheek. Around us, other relationships were forming and breaking. Hiro and Daichi were the school's golden couple, the beautiful Omega and powerful Alpha. They attended every event together, drawing admiring looks and jealous whispers. Kai, true to his word, had started putting distance between himself and Hiro. Clearly hurt him, but he was trying. He'd started spending more time with other basketball team members, even going on a few casual dates with an Omega from Class 2B. Everything seemed to be improving, moving in better directions than my past life. Then the anonymous message appeared on the school forum. "Hiro Tanaka, the pure Omega Prince? I heard he used to lead people on before Daichi. Ask Kai about it." The post had no name, no proof, but rumors spread like wildfire. By lunch, everyone was whispering. Some claimed Hiro deliberately played with Kai's feelings. Others said Kai was obsessed and couldn't accept rejection. I found Hiro in the bathroom, crying. "Run!" he sobbed when he saw me. "Everyone's saying horrible things. They're saying I'm manipulative, that I used Kai. But I didn't know he felt that way. I thought we were just friends." I hugged my brother tightly. "I know. I believe you. Daichi is so angry. He wants to find whoever posted it and make them apologize. But that'll just make things worse." Hiro pulled back, wiping his eyes. "Do you think Kai believes it? Do you think he hates me now?" "No," I said firmly. "Kai knows the truth. He's not behind this." Then who? That was the question. In my past life, nothing like this had happened. This was new territory, an unexpected consequence of changing the timeline. Yuki found us outside the bathroom. "There you are. Hiro, are you okay?" "Not really," Hiro admitted. "But I'll manage." "The post is clearly from someone jealous," Yuki said. "Probably an Omega who wanted Daichi's attention. Don't let them win by reacting emotionally." "Yuki's right," I added. "The best response is no response. Let it die down." But things got worse before they got better. Someone spread a fake screenshot showing Hiro supposedly texting cruel things about Kai. The doctored image looked convincing enough that even some of Hiro's friends started questioning him. Daichi, true to his alpha nature, went on the offensive. He publicly declared that anyone spreading lies about his boyfriend would answer to him. This only escalated tensions, with some students claiming Daichi was being controlling and aggressive. The situation came to a head during a basketball game. Kai's team was playing, and the stands were packed. Daichi sat with Hiro, his arm possessively around my brother's shoulders. Someone in the crowd shouted something crude about Hiro. Daichi stood up immediately, ready to fight. Kai, mid-game, heard the commotion and blew up at the heckler, defending Hiro even though it cost his team a technical foul. After the game, Kai approached Hiro and Daichi in the hallway. A crowd gathered, sensing drama. "I want to make something clear," Kai said loudly, his voice carrying. "Hiro never led me on. He never lied to me. I had feelings for him and he didn't return them. That's not his fault. Anyone saying otherwise is lying." "You don't have to do this," Hiro said quietly. "Yes, I do. Because these rumors are hurting you, and that's not okay." Kai looked at Daichi. "Take care of him. He's special." Daichi's expression softened. "I know he is, and I will." Kai nodded once, then walked away. The crowd dispersed, disappointed there wouldn't be a fight. Later, Yuki and I found Kai on the roof again. "That was brave," Yuki said. "It was necessary," Kai replied. "Hiro doesn't deserve this harassment. And I was tired of being painted as some tragic figure. I'm moving on." "Are you, though?" I asked gently. "Really moving on?" Kai smiled sadly. "I'm trying. Some days are better than others. But I went on a date yesterday, and I actually had fun. I didn't spend the whole time thinking about Hiro." "That's progress," Yuki said. "Yeah." Kai looked at me. You know, Ren, I never apologized to you. For what? For that first day when we met. I was so focused on Hiro that I barely saw you. And then when I asked to be friends, it was still partially because you were Hiro's brother. I'm sorry. You deserve better than that. Thank you, I said, surprised by how much the apology meant. I forgive you. Good. Because I actually do want to be friends now. Real friends for real reasons. You're insightful, talented, and clearly make Yuki happy. That's enough reason to be friends, right? I smiled. Yeah, that's enough. Over the next few days, the rumors finally died down. The school administration found the original poster. An Omega named Saki who had been pursuing Daichi before Hiro transferred. She was suspended and required to make a public apology. Hiro recovered slowly, his smile returning. Daichi became less aggressive, more protective in gentle ways. And Kai continued healing, even starting to date the Omega from his class more seriously. As for me, I was happy. Genuinely, completely happy. I had a boyfriend who loved me for me. I had a brother who supported my independence. I had friends who valued me. You know what's funny? I told Yuki one evening in his music studio. In trying to change my life, I accidentally helped other people too. Kai is moving on healthier than before. Hiro and Daichi are communicating better. Even the school dealt with a bully. That's what happens when you live authentically, Yuki said, pulling me close. Your honesty gives other people permission to be honest too. When did you get so wise? Since I met you, Yuki said, kissing me softly. I kissed him back, grateful beyond words for this second chance at life, at love, at everything. The future was still uncertain, but for the first time that felt exciting rather than terrifying. Summer approached, bringing final exams and discussions about the future. Yuki and I had been together for nearly 3 months now, and every day felt like a gift. He'd started teaching me piano, his hands guiding mine over the keys. I showed him my art, the sketches I'd kept hidden for years. We were in his music studio when he asked the question I'd been dreading. Ren, you once said you'd tell me everything when you were ready. Are you ready? I looked at him, this person who had become my anchor, my safe place. He deserved the truth even if it sounded impossible. You'll think I'm crazy, I warned. Try me. So I told him everything. About my first life, about being Kai's substitute, about dying young and alone. About waking up 8 years in the past with all my memories intact. About deliberately changing every choice I'd made before. Yuki listened without interrupting, his expression unreadable. When I finished, silence filled the studio. I braced myself for disbelief, for him to call me delusional. That explains so much, Yuki said finally. You believe me? I believe something happened to you that changed your perspective completely. Whether it was literally time travel or a vivid dream or something else, I believe you experienced it. Yuki took my hands. And I'm grateful for it, because that experience brought you to me. Tears filled my eyes. I was so scared to tell you. I love you, Yuki said simply. Whatever happened before, whoever you were, I love the person you are now. The person who chose himself. The person who chose me. I love you too, I whispered, the words feeling both new and ancient. We held each other as sunlight streamed through the studio windows. Outside, the world continued spinning. But in that moment, everything was perfect. The next day at school, Kai approached me during lunch. Can we talk? Privately? We found an empty classroom. Kai looked nervous, playing with his basketball charm bracelet. I'm moving on, he started. I really am. Haruto, the Omega I've been seeing, he's actually amazing. We're getting serious. That's great, Kai. But I need to tell you something. That first year, after Hiro started dating Daichi, I thought about asking you out. My blood went cold. This was exactly how it started in my past life. Don't, I said sharply. What? Don't tell me you thought about using me as a replacement for Hiro. Don't tell me I look just like him, so maybe it could have worked. Don't. Kai looked stunned. That's not... Ren, that's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? I meant that I saw you clearly for the first time. You weren't just Hiro's twin anymore. You were Rin. Talented, kind, insightful. And I thought maybe we could have been good together. Kai met my eyes. Not as a replacement. As yourself. But then I saw you with Yuki, and I realized I had missed my chance. More importantly, I realized you'd found someone who saw you first, not second. And that made me happy for you. I studied Kai's face, looking for any hint of deception. But he seemed genuine, almost sad. Why are you telling me this now? Because I wanted you to know that you're worth being someone's first choice. You always were. Kai smiled sadly. Haruto chose me first. Not as a rebound from Hiro, but as me. Feels amazing. Everyone deserves that. Yeah, I said softly. They do. Are we okay? Kai asked. I don't want bad blood between us. We're okay, I said, meaning it. This Kai was different from my past life. He was learning, growing, becoming better. Maybe that was another gift of changing the timeline, giving everyone a chance to be their best selves. That evening, Hiro came into my room with his phone. Look at this, he said, showing me his screen. It was a university acceptance letter. Daichi and I both got into Keio University. We're going to Tokyo together. That's amazing, Hiro. Congratulations. What about you? Where are you applying? I was thinking about art school. Maybe in Kyoto. Hiro's face fell. Kyoto? But that's so far from Tokyo. I know, but it's what I want. I need to pursue my own path, not follow yours. Hiro sat on my bed, looking sad but accepting. I'm going to miss you. Even though we've been distant this year, you're still my twin. My brother. I'll miss you too, but we both need this. We need to become our own people. When did you get so wise? Hiro asked with a watery smile. Someone I love taught me, I said, thinking of Yuki. Speaking of which, bring him to dinner this weekend. Mom and Dad want to meet him officially. You told them? Of course. You're my brother. Your happiness matters to me. That weekend, Yuki came to dinner. He charmed my parents with his politeness and intelligence. He engaged Hiro in genuine conversation. He shook Daichi's hand firmly and complimented his dedication to Hiro. After dinner, my dad pulled me aside. That boy loves you very much. I can see it in how he looks at you. I love him too, Dad. Good. That's all I want for you, Ren. To be loved and to love in return. As summer settled in, everything fell into place. Kai continued dating Haruto, and they seemed genuinely happy. Hiro and Daichi prepared for university together. Yuki and I spent every possible moment together, knowing that the future would bring challenges. One night, lying in Yuki's arms in his studio, I thought about how drastically life had changed. What are you thinking about? Yuki murmured. How different everything is now. How much better. Do you ever regret it? Changing everything? Never, I said firmly. Not for a single second. Good. Yuki kissed my head. Because I don't ever want to imagine a world where I didn't meet you. You wouldn't have to imagine it. That world actually existed. Then I'm grateful it doesn't anymore. We fell asleep like that, wrapped in each other and in the certainty that we had found something real, something lasting, something worth every difficult choice I'd made. Graduation day arrived with clear skies and blooming flowers. I stood in my cap and gown, looking at the sea of students and families. Somewhere in that crowd were my parents, probably crying. Hiro stood with Daichi, both of them beaming. Kai was with Haruto, who kept fixing Kai's crooked tie with an affectionate smile. And beside me was Yuki, his hand finding mine in the crowd. We made it, he said softly. We did. The ceremony was long and filled with speeches about futures and dreams. When they called my name, I walked across that stage feeling lighter than I ever had. This wasn't just graduating from high school, it was graduating from my old life, from being second choice, from living in shadows. At the after-party, Hiro pulled me aside. His eyes were red from crying. I'm going to miss you so much, he said, hugging me tight. Even though we've been more independent this year, you're still my best friend. You always will be. I'll miss you too, I said honestly. But we'll visit each other. Video call. Stay close even while being apart. Promise. Promise. Daichi joined us, putting his arm around Hiro's waist. Take care of yourself in Kyoto, Rin. And if anyone gives you trouble, call me. I'll come deal with them. I laughed. I'll be fine. But thanks. Kai approached with Haruto, who looked nervous about meeting everyone. Congratulations, Rin. I heard Kyoto Art Institute accepted you with a scholarship. That's incredible. Thanks, Kai. And congratulations on your basketball scholarship. I heard Keio's team is excited to have you. Yeah, it's a dream come true. Kai smiled at Haruto. And this one got into Keio's music program, so we'll be together. That's perfect, I said, genuinely happy for them. As the party continued, I found a quiet moment on the school roof. The same roof where Kai once sat heartbroken, where I'd helped him see a different future. Yuki joined me carrying 2 bottles of soda. Hiding from the chaos? He asked. Just thinking. This time last year, in my other life, I was miserable. I was preparing to start university while being Kai's secret boyfriend, knowing he'd never really love me. And in a few years, I'd be dying in a hospital room, alone. But you're not alone now, Yuki said, taking my hand. And you never will be again. Kyoto is 3 hours from Tokyo. That's where you're going for your music conservatory. 3 hours is nothing. I'll visit every weekend. We'll make it work. You're so sure. I am. Because what we have is real, Rin. It's not built on convenience or substitution. It's built on genuine love and respect. That doesn't just disappear because of distance. I leaned my head on his shoulder, watching the sunset paint the sky in oranges and pinks. Thank you. For what? For loving me when I didn't even know how to love myself. For being patient while I figured out who I was. For choosing me first. Thank you for letting me, Yuki replied, kissing my temple. For trusting me with your truth. For building this life with me. We sat there until the sky turned dark and stars appeared. The same stars I'd looked at from my childhood bedroom ceiling, but somehow they seemed brighter now. 3 months later, I moved into my dorm in Kyoto. The Art Institute was everything I dreamed of. Studios filled with natural light, professors who challenged and encouraged, students passionate about creation rather than social hierarchy. I threw myself into my work, discovering that I loved sculpture as much as painting. My pieces often reflected transformation, butterflies emerging from chrysalises, phoenixes rising from ashes, trees growing through concrete. Yuki visited every weekend, just as promised. Sometimes he'd bring his violin and play while I worked. Other times we'd explore Kyoto together. Temples, gardens, tiny restaurants hidden in ancient streets. Hiro and I video called weekly. He'd tell me about university life in Tokyo, about Daichi's family slowly warming to him, about the challenges of being an omega in competitive academic spaces. I'd tell him about my art, my classes, the friends I was making. You seem really happy, Ren, Hiro said during one call. Like genuinely happy. Your art shows it too. Mom sent me photos of your exhibition. Your pieces were beautiful. I am happy. For the first time in my life, I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm proud of you for figuring that out, for being brave enough to pursue it. Kai and I stayed friendly, following each other on social media, occasionally commenting on posts. He and Haruto were thriving, their relationship steady and healthy. Kai had even messaged me once. Thank you for that talk we had on the roof. You helped me see that love shouldn't hurt that much. Haruto makes me feel peaceful. That's how I knew he was the right one. 1 year became 2. My art gained recognition, a local gallery featured my work, and a few pieces sold. Yuki completed his first major composition, a piano concerto that premiered to a standing ovation. We talked about the future in concrete terms now, moving in together after graduation, building a life that honored both our dreams. On the anniversary of my rebirth, I stood in my studio late at night, looking at my latest sculpture. It was a figure breaking free from stone, arms reaching toward light. I called it Second Chances. My phone rang. Yuki, can't sleep, I asked. I was thinking about you, about us, about how lucky I am. I'm the lucky one. Let's just agree we're both lucky, Yuki said with a laugh. I love you, Rin. I love you too. After we hung up, I stood there for a long moment, thinking about the life I'd lived before and the life I was living now. The differences were staggering. In my first life, I died at 25, never truly loved, never seen, never valued. In this life, I was 21 with everything ahead of me. A career I loved, a partner who cherished me, a family who supported me, friends who respected me. I had changed everything by making one simple choice, to value myself first. And in doing so, I'd not only saved my own life but helped others find their paths too. Kai learned to let go and found real love. Hiro grew more independent and appreciative. Even Daichi became gentler, more understanding. My phone buzzed with a text from Hiro. Daichi just proposed. I said yes. You have to be my best man. I smiled, typing back, congratulations. Of course I'll be there. Another text from Kai. Did you hear? Hiro's engaged, and Haruto and I are moving in together. Everything's working out. Everything was working out. I turned back to my sculpture, adding final touches with my tools. The figure's face was emerging now, determined, hopeful, free. It looked like me. Outside, snow began to fall, rare for Kyoto but beautiful. I opened the studio window, letting cold air and soft flakes drift in. Somewhere in Tokyo, Yuki was probably at his piano, composing something beautiful. Somewhere else, Hiro was celebrating with Daichi. Kai and Haruto were planning their future together. And I was here, in this moment, completely at peace. I had been given an impossible gift, a second chance at life. And I had used it not to seek revenge or to force different outcomes, but simply to choose myself, to live authentically, to love and be loved honestly. That was enough. More than enough. It was everything. As I locked up my studio and headed back to my dorm through the snow, I thought about that young man who died alone in a hospital bed, unloved and unseen. I sent him a silent thank you. His suffering had taught me what I needed to know. His pain had shown me what to avoid. His death had given me this life. I wouldn't waste it. Tomorrow, Yuki would arrive on the morning train. We'd spend the weekend together, maybe visiting that new gallery in Gion, definitely staying up late talking about dreams and plans and silly things that made us laugh. And the day after that, I'd return to my studio and create something new. Because that's what I did now. I created, I built, I chose joy and love and authenticity over and over again. The snow continued to fall, covering the world in white, making everything clean and new, just like me, just like my second chance, just like this beautiful, impossible, grateful life.